Plymouth Board of Education special meeting of Tuesday, March 15th, 2022 to order at 7 p.m. Let's stand for the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Do I have that motion?
So.
Mr. Showers, do I have a second? Second. By Dia Fusco. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Item number 3 on the agenda, approval of minutes. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Special Board of Education meetings of February 2nd, 2022. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Do I have by Mr. Showers, seconded by Mr. Foote. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ms. Lucian abstains. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education of February 9th, 2022. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Who's that? Yeah. All right. Sorry, my head's not used to going that way.
I know,
Mr. Perugino.
We're going to change it around a little bit.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Michelle Lucian for the second. Any discussion?
Not quick enough.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education of February 23rd, 2022. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
By Lou Zabushka, seconded by Mr. Foote. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right. Item number 4 on the agenda, public comment. Is there any public comment? All right. Seeing no public comment, we'll move to item number 5 on the agenda, the superintendent's update. At this time, I will turn it over to Acting Superintendent Brian Falcone.
Thank you very much. At your seats, you have a small token of appreciation and recognition for Board of Education Appreciation Month. Some of you couldn't wait to open it, which is fine. Pat picked that out for all of you, so make sure you thank Pat at some point tonight for finding that for you. But we do appreciate all you do for our children. This is a volunteer position. You put in a lot of hours and a lot of time for our kids and our community, and we want to thank you for that. This is a small token of appreciation for the work that you have done for us so far. This past month, I personally attended amazing events at each of our schools. At the high school, I went to the prep route, and I watched Mr. Holtz in his shorts and t-shirt play dodgeball against the students and staff, which was great to see. I went to the Eli Terry Junior Middle School staff first student basketball game, which was great watching Mr. Fowler get roasted by the student fans sitting in the bleachers, which was fun to watch. I went to a professional development at Fisher Elementary School, where I watched Miss Loveland and Mr. Curtis have a challenge within a blow-up obstacle course that the PTA provided in a team building competition where Miss Loveland got destroyed. And I watched members of our community come together to read to students at Plymouth Center and at Fisher for Read Across America. It happened to be Crazy Hat and Hair Day, and watching our teachers participate in that was pretty awesome. What I observed in each of these events is what I experience every time I walk through these buildings. And it is, we have faculty and administration that truly care about our students and want to make our schools the best possible place for our kids to learn. I just want to thank our teachers and administrators for that. Approximately 2 months ago, 2 students approached me about an idea they had to raise money for a good cause. Luke Kozer from Luke's Cukes and Nico Florent, say the last name. Thank you. Thank you. From Nico's Nuggets, teamed up with our Leo clubs and ran a penny war across the district. So these 2 5th grade students raised $2,400 $414.31 for the United Way of Western Connecticut. So that was pretty amazing.
Wow, nice.
In addition, our Leo Club has raised $3,250 for the Harvest Pack. That's when they pack meals for countries to send over to other countries. And they're doing it for Ukraine and the refugee relief. So that's what they're doing. They raised the money by holding a homecoming dance here in October. And they also asked for generous donations from our local businesses, clubs, and organizations. So congratulations to our Terryville High School Leo Club as well. Beth and Kathleen have some information to share about our transition program and SATs.
Okay. So at the end of this month, the 11th graders at the high school are going to be taking the SAT. And while that's not necessarily a unique experience, what's new for the first time this year is that the SAT is going to be online. So the College Board has provided the SAT to us since apparently 1926, and it has been on paper for almost 100 years. And this year is the first time that they're going to move it to a computer administration. And they're starting with the school day administrations this year, and then the weekend administrations will go online next year. So whenever we have a change like that happen, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And so I wanted to recognize Mike Holtz and our IT folks and our pupil services folks who have been doing a tremendous amount of work over the last few months to get ready for this. The pupil services folks had to go through all of the kids' IEPs and make changes so that it matches up with the new test. Obviously, the IT folks had to get us all ready. Mr. Holtz has been working with me to get everybody trained so that the proctors know how to administer the new SAT, and also help the teachers get the kids online so that they can see what it looks like and they can go through and kind of play with all the test tools and stuff before they have to take it. So we have about 2 weeks before we give it, and things are going pretty well. I think we're going to be okay when we get to that point at the end of the month. And because it's online, the kids will get their scores back around April 15th. So it'll only be about 2.5 weeks between when they take it and when they get their scores.
Great.
So tonight I wanted to highlight some of the good things that are going on in our transition program here at the high school. The first one was that we were recently notified by the Connecticut State Department of Education that our transition program is being recognized as a public transition program in Connecticut. So there's an application process we went through, and we're now recognized as a program and listed on the state's website as a Connecticut transition program. So that's really exciting for the program. Additionally, our students in the transition program have been running a business called Barkaroos. I don't know how many of you have heard of it, but our students are making and selling dog and cat treats. The students shop for the ingredients, they make the dough, they press the treats. The recipe is all natural. It's only 5 ingredients, and they're sold on a monthly basis to the faculty in the district. The March sale of Barkaroos, the kids wanted to do something to benefit Ukraine. So they're looking at 2 different charities, AmeriCares or Save the Children. They're 2 Connecticut-based charities, and they want to provide relief funds to Ukraine. So all of the proceeds from March will benefit Ukraine. So I have some treats for all of you tonight to bring home to your furry friends. If you don't have a dog, they're all natural. So I feel like even maybe your goats would want the treats.
You could do it.
They'd probably enjoy them. So I'll pass them out at the recess. And if you are interested in ordering the treats, Brian or I will share the order form with you on your Plymouth email.
We didn't put those at your desk because we thought Mr. Perugino might rip into them and eat his cookies. So we felt like it was better to hand them out after a few years.
You know I missed my units.
That's what I'm saying.
Brian Lou just said he's already tried them. So.
You got to do it.
No, I mean, just a final quick reminder that on Monday, March 21st, we'll be presenting the Board of Education budget to the Plymouth Board of Finance Committee at 7 p.m. in the community room, Town Hall. And also the Plymouth Board of Finance budget presentation and public hearing will be held on Thursday, April 14th at 7 p.m. in the community room at Town Hall. Following that presentation and public hearing, there will be a special joint meeting with the Plymouth Town Council, Plymouth Board of Finance, and Plymouth Board of Education. That's all I have for this evening, but I want to just say one last thank you to this board for all the work you do for the children in this community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Item number 6 on the agenda, recess. I'd like to entertain a motion to recess at 7:10 p.m. in recognition of Board of Education Appreciation Month.
So moved.
Greg Schauer, seconded by Mr. Foot. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We are in recess.
Give it a
Ms. Fusco? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. All right. Item number 8, new business. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the out-of-state field trip to Washington, D.C. for 10 to 15 social studies students in grades 10 through 12 from November 13th, 2022 to November 18th, 2022. The Close-Up Foundation offers a week-long course on civics. So this is a field trip that's been happening all along. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Mr. Schauer, so I have a second by Mr. Foot. Any discussion on this motion? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. B, Healthy Food Certification for 2022 to 2023. All public school districts participating in the NSLP must submit the Healthy Food Certification Statement Addendum to Agreement for Child Nutrition Program by July 1st, 2022 to certify whether or not all food items sold to students will or will not meet Connecticut nutritional standards. So healthy food option pursuant to CGS section 10-215F, the Board of Education or governing authority certifies that all food items offered for sale to students in the schools under its jurisdiction and not exempted from the Connecticut nutrition standards published by the Connecticut State Department of Education will comply with the Connecticut nutrition standards during the period of July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. This certification shall include all food offered for sale to students separately from reimbursable meals at all times and from all sources, including but not limited to school stores, vending machines, school cafeterias, culinary programs, and any fundraising activities on school premises sponsored by the school or by non-school organizations and groups. I'd like to entertain a motion to implement the healthy food option. Do I have that?
So moved.
Mr. Showers. Do I have a second? Mr. Foot. Any discussion on this? I believe this is something we've been doing all along. This probably goes back to you, Mr. Perugino, or after you?
Before me.
Before you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something that's we've been doing all along.
Has to be done each year.
Every year.
Yep. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. If the Board of Education or governing authority votes yes, which we did for the healthy food option above, the Board of Education or governing authority must also vote on whether to allow food exemptions, as indicated below. Note, if the Board of Education or governing authority votes no for the healthy food option above, a vote or whether to allow food exemptions is not required. We voted yes, so we have to vote on the exemptions. Exemption of food items. The Board of Education or governing authority will allow the sale to students of food items that do not meet the Connecticut nutrition standards provided that the following conditions are met. 1, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of regular school day or on the weekend. Number 2, the sale is at the location of the event. And number 3, the food items are not sold from a vending machine or school store. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regularly scheduled practice, meet, or extracurricular activity. For example, soccer games, school plays, and interscholastic debates are events, but soccer practices, play rehearsals, and debate team meetings are not. Does everybody understand that? Okay. The regular school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means where the event is being held. So I'd like to entertain a motion to allow the food exemptions as stated. Do I have that motion?
I just have a question. I
Let-
was on the line today and,
Hold on. We gotta make the motion second and then we'll have discussion. Mr.
okay,
Chairman.
sure.
Do I have that motion? By Mr. Showers, do I have a second?
Second.
By Michelle Lucian. All right, Mr.
No, I was
Pritchard.
on the line today and Eli Terry Junior Middle School is having a, what do you call them? Flea market or something down there? Craft fair. And they're gonna have a food truck. That's okay, right?
Yes, because it's on the weekend.
No problem? Okay.
Any other discussion on the motion? All right, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Beverage exemptions. The Board of Education or governing authority will allow the sale to students of beverages not listed in section 10-22 1Q of the Connecticut General Statutes, provided that the following conditions are met. Number one, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of regular school day or on the weekend. Number two, the sale is at the location of the event. And number three, the beverages are not sold from a vending machine or school store. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regularly scheduled practice meeting or extracurricular activity. The school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means where the event is being held and must be the same place as the beverage sales. So I'd like to entertain a motion to allow for the beverage exemptions. Do I have that motion? By Mr. Foote. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Showers. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, item number 9 on the agenda, board member and committee reports, finance and operations. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Tenzia, the business manager.
Okay. First, in your packets, you have the things that I typically provide you with. The business office activity report, the Board of Education budget summary, the cumulative total of spending, and I included this time the capital improvement plan, which did not change from the last time that you were here. And then at your seats, you'll see that I provided the financials for food service. Again, in the month of February, we were able to turn a profit. Any questions on those items that were in your packet?
Yeah, I had one question.
I knew somebody would have one.
Of course. I had it marked down here. Page 2, library paraprofessional. We're over budget on that? Did I read that right?
Library paraprofessional. For
Yeah.
Fisher, yes, that is correct.
Is that because we had to hire somebody or?
We have, we have some people that were brought in,
Oh,
and they were originally, basically the bottom line is we didn't budget this properly last year.
okay.
We knew that we were gonna be short on this year. Trust me, when I go through this literally 2 or 3 times a week. I just wanna assure you that at the end of the year, we will be fine. We won't be short anywhere, even though you see negative numbers. There's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
know.
plenty of transfers that are
There'll
gonna
be a
need to
lot of
happen.
transfer. The other question, okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, the other question I had, and I know I always ask you this question. And I always worry about the magnet school transportation. Are we getting a little better on that now? I know we were having problems getting some service, but I know we're way over budget on that.
Magnet School Transportation is a line item that I am working diligently to correct. In the past, that has only been budgeted at $8,000 a year.
I know.
We spend well over that. We do get funding from the state for that. We did just receive a check for about $46,000. That's going to be, that will be coming in to offset that. That's the first of 2.
Okay.
And they come into the town, so then I have to work with the town finance director to get them to transfer the money
Right.
up to us. So we will be over budget on that line.
Oh, yeah.
But it will not be nearly what you're looking at here. It's going to be offset by about, I would say, $90,000.
Yeah, and the state has never changed our
Rate of
rate.
reimbursement remains
No.
the same.
I know, I fought with every state senator we had, and I think we got it for $50 one time extra, and that was 18 years ago.
Yeah, so
Well, okay.
unfortunately,
I know.
but when you look at next year's budget, you'll see that I have made adjustments to what that line item is
Good.
to be more in line with what expectations are.
Yeah, and Pat, just to clarify that line item you spoke about with the library paraprofessional, the difference is that they budgeted for paraprofessionals last year, which are a lower rate than a tutor. They
Yes.
actually have a tutor at Fisher Elementary School and at Eli Terry, and the difference between a tutor and a para is that students can go into the library with a tutor without teacher supervision. With a para, you have to, but we never adjusted the rates from last year to this year, and that's why we're in the hole.
Oh, I know, we'll fix it. I
Thanks,
was
Brian.
questioning. So.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
A couple of items that I'd like to touch on. First is for food service for next year. As of right now, the decision from the federal government is they will not be continuing the waiver. So next year we will go back to food service as it was, which means if you do not qualify as free and reduced, then meals will be charged for it. There's still some talk that they may come out with a different decision, but as of right now, starting July 1st, 2022, we go back to food service as we knew it pre-pandemic. So the 100% free meals is going to go away as of right now.
So this will be red instead of green. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's still going to be green, but it's not going to have as big a number.
That big number, okay. All right.
So was that money when they went through, that was offset by state? They covered it? Or did we
The
have to
federal
cover that?
government, no, I'm sorry, ask your question again.
Did we have to cover the expense of that, or did the federal government cover the expense?
When it went
Of all
100%
kids?
free,
Yes.
government's paying for all that.
Okay.
We charge for every meal that we distribute.
Now, what would you say what the percentage of free and reduced lunch was prior to that in the district? Again,
Kathleen, actually, you would be able to help me with this a little better.
So right now, our free and reduced price lunch percentages it's hovering right around 45%. It was a little bit lower than that before the pandemic by a couple of percentage points, but it wasn't drastically lower. And that's across all buildings. Before we reorganized the elementary schools, there was a big discrepancy between Plymouth Center and Fisher. But at this point in time, they're about even.
about it.
So there is talk at the state level to reduce the free and reduced threshold to be considered a CEP district from, I think it's 47% to 25%. And if that's the case, we would be able to entertain remaining free across the district. But we have to wait for the politicians to do their due diligence. But it's out there, part of the organization that I'm a member of, which is CASBO, which is the Connecticut Association for Business Professionals, is advocating for them to do that because we recognize to go back to paid meals, in addition to being a draw on people's finances. For the last 2 years, kids are all used to getting it for free. And they also have passed new regulations that say you can't turn away a student regardless of free and reduced status from a meal. And they can currently charge up to 30 meals before you can take any action with that student. And the Board of Education is required to pay for any shortfalls due to that. So there's a whole lot of steps that are being lobbied against, if you will. So I'll keep you posted. Right now, we'll see what happens. It's ever changing. A couple other things. The scoreboards have been replaced at Eli Terry Middle School. As you remember, at the end of last year, we ordered those. They finally have come in. So it's been almost a whole year. They're up and they're working great. They just used them on Saturday. So we're excited about that. Jim Mazon has been evaluating our landscaping equipment. And then once he decides what we want to keep in-house versus we want to make available, because we do want to keep some of that equipment available to our staff, he'll be reaching out to Charlie down at the town to work out some kind of a deal. And in addition, he's also been working with contacting some contractors so that we can get pricing for the repair of sidewalks and stairs that we've talked about that are becoming a safety issue, so that we can begin to talk about some of those things.
Yeah, so I've been talking with the mayor with that, and there's a plan, we can talk about that after.
So just to be
These
aware of some of the
sidewalks
things
out
that we're
here,
doing.
And all the other
Actually,
schools as
not
well.
these sidewalks that we
No,
know that
all the
that
other
would be a
schools as
separate
well.
project, but the other schools.
Yep.
And we've also been in contact with the town about the parking lots and entranceways that at some point are going to need to be redone. So that's my report for this evening.
Are they gonna have an engineering study? We're gonna find that out, Walt, I guess, if they're gonna
At the
engineer.
cap,
They're
yeah.
not gonna cap it like they did before.
No,
That-
no, we're not gonna let that
that's
happen.
horrible up there.
No, we're not gonna allow that happen.
No.
So we're gonna do it right. We're gonna have engineering. We're gonna make sure that every phase of the construction is looked at.
Bases and everything.
And yeah,
It's terrible. Well, what are you gonna do?
we're gonna fix it.
You'll fix it. Somebody's gonna fix it. We'll do it right the first time. Well, they didn't do it right the first time.
You all set?
I'll second.
All
Unless
right.
you have any
Any
questions.
questions for Mr. Tenzer? No? Cindy? No? All right. All right, the personnel reports in your packet for informational items submitted by Acting Superintendent Brian Falcone. Any questions on this? Speak now. All right. All right, moving along. Second public comment. Do we have any public comment? No? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 11 on the agenda, Board Liaison Report. Mr. Perugino, Harry S. Fisher Elementary School.
Well, they do, she's gonna give the report only because I'm not set up for, what do you call them things, Zoom?
Okay.
I'm not set up for that. But when they have a real meeting where I can talk to somebody face to face, I'll be there.
They should be doing this.
No, they're not.
Well, that's up to them.
both.
Oh, well, huh?
It's offered both ways, in person, virtual, yeah.
You mean in person? You mean like you down there?
It was in the library at the school, yeah.
I wasn't told that.
And you got your Board of Ed Chromebook.
Yeah, I know I got that.
Yeah, you can zoom on that.
No, we can't.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
He just chooses
We have to
to
try.
not learn.
All right.
Yes.
If I have to zoom on that,
No,
somebody's
but
gonna be sitting right next to me at the end of the table down there, getting me going.
All right.
All right. No, that's fine. But she has the report.
So the book fair is this week. It's gonna be open to parents during conferences, and it started on Monday and ends on Friday. Tomorrow, the PTA ordered from Main Street Deli to feed the staff for the first night of conferences. So they'll have a nice meal on the PTA. Conferences are this week. They're virtual or in person. You would have had to sign up for them. And the PTA is doing their calendar fundraiser. Right now, they're selling the tickets for $5 each, and then the raffle will start in April. They're looking for any students of alumni or current students that would like to pick a winner. Each day, the month of April, they pick a winner, and they are starting to meet with the 5th grade committee to plan end of the year stuff. That's it for Fisher.
That's it. All right. Mrs. Zabushka, Plymouth Center School.
The Pasta Haven fundraiser pickup is tomorrow from 4 to 8 p.m. Spirit Wear fundraiser is March 17th through the 18th of this month. March 11th, there's an early dismissal for students. Book fair, March 14th through 18th, from 3:30 to 8, and Wednesday and Thursday evening. Kindergarten registration is the 23rd and 24th. Parent-teacher conferences, online schedule, and there's early dismissal for students on those days.
Okay. Thank you. Mrs. Condrea Florenciani, Eli Terry Junior Middle School.
For the middle school, the PTA just helped pay for a 6th grade field trip. And other grades are gonna start submitting their requests as well for field trip funds. And the 8th graders are starting to plan the end of the year celebrations. And that's it for the PTA.
Okay.
For the Booster Club, Scholarships are due for April 26th. They're looking for new officers for next year. They're starting to plan their sports awards ceremony for the end of the year, and they have a car wash for May 15th.
Where's the car wash at? At the,
On Route 6, I think it's called Snow White.
oh, in
That's-
Bristol?
In Bristol, right?
Yeah, in Bristol.
Okay.
So we did it the year before the pandemic. So you get a bunch of kids. There's like 8 stops there, and then you press the walk button, and it holds up traffic really nicely, and they're able to do a really good job fundraising there.
All right.
Don't go on Route 6.
Boy, 6.
Mrs. Clausa, Terrible High School.
Yes, the Terryville High School PTSA continues its fundraising efforts for the after grad party, a very important event for our seniors. Thus far, their mail fundraising letter campaign has netted just over $3,000, and they're still waiting to get some donations in for that. And then I have an update. There's another fundraiser at Krabby Owl's on March 26th. There will be 2 seatings, one at 5 p.m. and one at 6 p.m. It is a buffet, and they will be offering dinner and desserts and raffles, and it is $25 a person. And this goes directly to the seniors after grad party for a safe and fun celebration for our kids. And then one more thing. Parents of juniors in high school, this is a good time for you to get involved, to learn a little bit about the PTSA before the senior parents kind of move on to other things, and it will be your turn to take over. That's it.
You wouldn't have to be one of those parents.
I
of a
have no
senior.
more kids in school. Well, they're in school, but not here.
Mr. Perugino, okay?
I just got my journal today, so I don't have a report on it.
Okay. Ms. Fusco, anything for Ed Advanced?
Yes, they are continuing to reach out to new members, and they're working on recruitment and retention on how to get people in and to stay. And they are using some of their surplus in order to do this, which their surplus, after 6 years, they are now financially stable. And in the last 5 years, their revenue has grown 57%. And the school district sees the benefits and are using these programs. 90% of everything goes back to the communities. Their focus is on early childhood and preschool right now. The Healthy Food Options Grant was approved, same as like what we discussed a little while ago. And the McKinney-Vento grant was approved for it's a 3-year grant to help with student homelessness.
Okay. Great. Mr. Showers,
District Safety Committee will meet next month.
next one, April. Okay. All right. Item number 12 on the agenda, board comments. We'll start with Mr. Zabushka.
I volunteered to work for Pasta fundraiser and book fair. I thought it was a good idea. I need some parents and things like that.
Haven't been enough in all your years.
You can never have me enough.
Mr. Perugino.
I'd just like to just take a moment and just mention one of our former employees, Joe Dennis, had passed away. And Joe was in charge of facilities here for quite a few years. And Brian has sent the email on. I sent it back to him, and I told him I missed the days when Joe used to come to the house and he would say, "Get in our truck, we're going to take a ride down the school path." And I said, "Okay." And he had that yellow legal pad with him. And you go through the schools and you mark it down and say, "I want to fix this," and mark it down. And I really missed them days. And Joe was a great guy. He was a super employee. I'm really going to miss him.
Yeah. He was a great guy.
Yeah. That's it.
Ms. Flanciano.
So Read Across America was a lot of fun. My daughter, who wants to be a teacher, read to fourth grade, and she said it confirmed that she wants to be a teacher. She absolutely loved the kids. They told her how beautiful she is. They loved her outfit. They paid so much. They focused on her.
Don't get used to that.
She,
I know.
she absolutely left glowing reading to the kids. Whereas I first read to a first grade class, and I was so scared. I don't know why, but I was just so nervous that I'd read a word wrong and I'd get called out for it. Or I don't know. The first graders made me nervous, but they were so cute. They loved it. And then I went to read to another class, and I was much more at ease with the book. So that was a lot of fun. The school play that we got tickets for is April 8th and 9th, and the tickets are on sale online, and a lot of kids have been putting a lot of hard work into that. So you guys can go, help purchase tickets, buy concessions while you're there, have a good time. And then Nico and Luke did a really good job, and they were gonna come tonight, but they thought it would go past their bedtime. But they wanted to thank all the schools. The schools raised a lot of money for the United Way, and all the parents that contributed. That was a really good fundraiser.
Mrs. Woods.
No. Nothing to add. Really? I'm good.
Wow. Mr. Showers.
I have nothing.
Ms. Fusco.
I just want to say thank you for, this is my first year on the board, and I've enjoyed it very much so far. I'm busy, but it's great, and it's nice to feel appreciated, and that goes a long way. So thank you.
Mr. Foot.
I ran into somebody this morning at coffee from Watertown. And we were both recalling when Terryville used to play Watertown and Litchfield and Thomaston in basketball. He'd like to see Watertown play Terryville again. It's just something, food for thought to possibly have a invitational tournament or something someday with those. We are historically related, Terryville, Plymouth, Terryville, Thomaston, and Watertown.
Yep.
Sounds like a good idea. Something to think about.
Yeah, it'd be confusing on the court though, since they both were black and orange.
What's that?
If both were black and orange, it'd be a little confusing on the court,
I
wouldn't it?
know, but it says Indians on the back.
Not anymore, it
Oh, I
doesn't.
know.
No, I'm kidding. All right, moving along. All right. Yeah. All right. I'd just like to say thank you for the gift. It's nice. There's, and I appreciate everybody on this board. I know there's a lot of hours that go into this. Getting into the schools, going to the PTA meetings, budget. That's just wonderful stuff. So thanks. You, as the superintendent said, this is, a volunteer position, and a lot of time and dedication does go into it. So thank you, Ms. Pat, for getting these gifts together. And,
You're welcome.
and I am going to try one of these, by the way.
We know how they
So
taste.
I'm going to do it. All right. All right. That's all I have.
Can I say something? Please.
Yes, you're a member of the board.
I just I heard Pat talk about Joe Dennis, and I just want to add to that. He's one of those special people that goes through the town and the community that makes a difference and an impact, and that people remember him and what he's done for children. He was behind the scenes. He was the head custodian at Plymouth Center for a number of years. He then became the facilities director, and the difference he made in the building of the school, the upkeep of our grounds, and how much he truly cared about the kids was seen every day in what he did, and also the people he worked with. So I can't say enough great things about that man. He's just a good person who made a big difference in this community. So.
You did. All right, the next regular meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education is on Wednesday, April 13th at 7 p.m. in the cafeteria at Terryville High School. Item number 14 on the agenda. I'd like to entertain a motion to enter into executive session at 7:49 p.m. to discuss the following. A, personnel agreements, the central office secretaries, district technology specialist, director of facilities, and board certified behavior analyst. B, teacher retirement incentive. And C, the memorandum of understanding shared technology support services between the town of Plymouth and the Plymouth public school system. Inviting in Mr. Falcone, acting superintendent, Mr. Tenza, the business manager, and Kathleen Moslak Tenza as a curriculum coordinator. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
By Mr.
Second.
Showers, seconded by Mr. Foot. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we're now in executive session at 7:50.
We're gonna have a conference room just to-